What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Saturday, March 9th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Spencer Dinwiddie from the Brooklyn Nets playing the Atlanta Hawks, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the third most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Spencer Dinwiddie has scored 46, 30, and 20 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 29.3 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 28 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He had a 34% usage rate last game and a 32% usage rate 2 games ago, so he's definitely healthy. He played 30 minutes last game. Spencer Dinwiddie is $5,600 DraftKings salary. He's $1,400 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 28.8 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.1 times value. Spencer Dinwiddie has scored 30, 26, 50, 30, and 42 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Atlanta Hawks. There's an implied total of 235.5 points in this game. That's a huge total. I know there's a lot of bodies over there in Brooklyn, but if Spencer Dinwiddie gets 30 minutes, he's going to crush value at this price. This is a great matchup. I like Spencer Dinwiddie here versus the Atlanta Hawks. Remember, we added projected ownership, and that will be updating throughout the day as injury news changes. We also added the fantasy points per minute stat here for each player, and we also added a stat that's new to the industry. We call it the hit percentage, and it's the percent chance this player has to hit value at his current DFS salary. And you can access all these new stats even on mobile devices by tapping the dash rank icon. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? I like Derrick Rose from the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the Washington Wizards, who have the 5th worst defense overall, and they also give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Derrick Rose has scored 12, 27, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 29.6 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 28 minutes per game with a 27% usage rate. Derrick Rose is $4,900 DraftKings salary. He's $400 more on FanDuel. I like that price on both sites. Projected at 28.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's almost 6 times value. There's an implied total of 243 points in this game. That's a monster total. So the matchup is great. The implied total is good. So why is Derrick Rose so cheap? It's because his minutes have been limited to 24 minutes. They're taking him out in garbage time, so he's not getting the full run. But he will be out there in competitive games, so it's a soft cap. He can play more minutes if they need him to. Under 5K, great matchup, fast-paced game, monster implied total. I love Derrick Rose here versus the Washington Wizards. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the position optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new player trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Trevor Ariza from the Washington Wizards playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have the 12th worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Trevor Ariza has scored 20, 36, and 29 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 29.3 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 35 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. Trevor Ariza is $5,800 DraftKings salary. He's $400 more on FanDuel. projected at 27.1 fantasy points here tonight. He's going to need about 30 fantasy points to hit 5 times value. I see a 35 fantasy point game from Trevor Ariza tonight. I think he bounces back from the bad game last night. I just love this implied total of 243 points. I like getting a cheap piece of this game. Trevor Ariza's price won't break your lineup, and he's got 35-40 point upside in this matchup. So I like Trevor Ariza here versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay everyone, it's time to announce the winner of our $100 weekly comment contest. And the winner is David Russell. David Russell, congratulations, you are the winner of this week's $100 comment contest. Please reply to our comment to collect your prize. Let's give David some love in the comments, everyone. If you haven't won yet, keep trying. We're going to keep doing this until every last one of you is a winner. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, who do we have at the power forward position? This is a risky play. I'm going to give you a value play here. It's Gordon Hayward from the Boston Celtics playing the LA Lakers, who have the 4th worst defense overall, and they give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Gordon Hayward has scored 24, 51, and 19 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 24.2 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 26 minutes per game with a 19% usage rate. Gordon Hayward is only $4,300 DraftKings salary. He's $800 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 23.5 fantasy points here tonight, that's 5.5 times value. Gordon Hayward has been playing heavy minutes the last 2 games, 29 and 27 minutes. I think they're getting him ready for the playoff run. He's going to be a big part of this team if he can get back to his former self. So they're going to try to jam him in as much as possible. For those reasons, I like taking the risk on Gordon Hayward here versus the LA Lakers. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Karl Anthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the Washington Wizards, who have the 5th worst defense overall, and they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Karl Anthony Towns has scored 35, 67, and 56 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 50.1 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 33 minutes per game with a 28% usage rate. Karl Anthony Towns is $10,400 DraftKings salary. He's $1,200 more on FanDuel, projected at 46.6 fantasy points here tonight. I think that projection is a little bit low. Outside that 35-point bust last game, Karl Anthony Towns has scored 67, 56, 70, and 72. So he's on track for 50 to 60 fantasy points here tonight. With this implied total of 243 points, I want to get a few players from this game. So I like Karl Anthony Towns here versus the Washington Wizards. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.